everybody. I'm Kelly Carter with Choice Insurance Agency.
And I'm Trish Coffey with Atlantic Union Bank Home Lending Division.
And we know that there's a lot of uncertainty right now across our country and in our area regarding the real estate market, businesses, really our economy as a whole. So we wanted to take a moment and touch briefly on a couple of updates on the mortgage and insurance industries, some things that you could know and you want to share with your clients regarding any impacts of COVID-19. So Trish, thank you for joining me today. We're all very aware we've seen a lot of impacts of COVID-19 in the housing market. Tell us some changes, some updates that you're seeing as it impacts people's ability to get mortgages.
So I think the biggest thing right now is in the government space. FHA, VA, and USDA are having the biggest impacts with servicing. So their rates are very volatile. They're some of the highest we've seen in recent years. In the conforming space, we're still in a really good position for rates. And if you work with a lender who has portfolio loans, typically those rates are going to be good as well. One of the biggest new guidelines that we have to follow as lenders is the ability to repay guideline. So borrowers are being asked for more documentation to make sure that they're still working and still have income coming in, because a lot of businesses are closed right now or people are laid off. So we are being asked to provide more documentation right before closing that the borrower is still employed, and especially for self-employed folks, that their business is still open and operational.
Gotcha. So what are some tips that people should be aware of, maybe to streamline the process or kind of get you the documents that you need in a very preemptive fashion? What are some recommendations?
I think the biggest thing is just being aware that we are going to need verification of employment right before closing. And if they're self-employed, we're asking that they provide things like receipts, invoices, recent contracts, deposits to their business accounts to show that they're still receiving an income stream.
Right. So Trish, in addition to new purchases, what about refinances? Are you seeing that impacted at all with the rates changing right now?
We are, and people are rate shopping, and they're hearing about all these great low interest rates out there in the media. I would just encourage people when they're out there shopping for rates that they're comparing apples to apples, because a lot of lenders are building in points for the rates that they're advertising. And then you have to think about factors like your specific situation with your loan to value, your FICO score,
Right.
whether it's a cash out refinance or a rate and term refinance, whether there's a subordination. So there are a lot of different factors that go into what drives that rate. And the rate ultimately drives your monthly payment. So we are seeing folks where, they may qualify for a better loan program if we can get their debt to income ratio down.
Right.
And so what we do is we look at things like insurance, for example. We would refer them to an insurance partner to see if we can get them a lower homeowners insurance policy to get their DTI down to
Yep.
qualify them for a better loan program.
Right. Absolutely. And that's a perfect point too to touch on, Trish. We see that a lot. A lot of times people don't think for refinances, they think for a new home purchase. Obviously, you've got to have the insurance in place for the property. But a lot of times for refinances, people don't think about reassessing their homeowner's insurance or their property insurance. If they've owned their home for 5 or 10 years and they haven't looked at that package of insurance, then that definitely could be a big savings to shop that. So that's a huge value add to touch on too.
Definitely.
Perfect. So Trish, before we wrap up, what other points should we be aware of, or what else would you like to tell us about?
I would just encourage everyone to be very flexible in this situation. Lenders are experiencing things we've never experienced before.
Right.
So when you go and you seek out a mortgage, work with someone that you trust, obviously, but be mindful that they may ask for things that you haven't been asked for in the past. And it's just because these are unprecedented times, and we're doing the best we can to get your loan closed for you.
Yeah.
So if anyone ever has any questions, I'm always available to be a resource. Even if I'm not your lender, I'm always happy to answer questions. And Kelly, I just want to thank you for taking the time to do this with me today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to share some points with us. And everyone, we will put all contact information at the end of this video, as well as in the post. I encourage you to reach out to Trish. Always reach out to me, to the Choice team. We're always happy to help. So everyone stay safe, stay well. Trish, thank you so much. And we'll talk to everyone soon.